What is up, guys? As you guys know, or if you're a new viewer, I've been on a Larry Bird journey as of recently. You guys can check on my channel if you guys want to, check out the videos. But you guys been heavily recommending me a Larry Bird Most Savage Moments video. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys did say he is the best trash talker. And he was kind of going crazy in that one video that we did react to about trash talking, bro. So, why not react to his savage moments, bro? And hey, enough with the chit chat. Let's get straight into the video.
A part of the reason why Larry Bird was called Legend was his brilliance as a basketball player, and the other part were his legendary and vicious trash-talking skills. Bird was a killer on the court. He had a foul mouth, and he wasn't afraid of anybody. This explosive combination gave birth to some of the most ruthless trash-talking stories in NBA history. So here are the 10 best Larry Bird savage moments. 1988 Three-Point Shooting Contest. The three-point shot in the NBA was first introduced in the 1979 NBA season, Larry's rookie year. 7 years later, at the 1986 All-Star Weekend in Dallas, the NBA brought the first official three-point shooting contest to the scene. Larry won it, and repeated next year at the All-Star Game in Seattle. In 1988, he was going
Bro, was Larry Bird like a crazy three-point shooter? Like, I'm talking about one of the best. Because he did win three. As you guys do know, he won three. So, is he like one of the best of all time at shooting? And does he come close to Curry? Let me
for a
know.
three-peat in Chicago. Before the start of the contest, Bird entered the locker room, did not speak a word to the other competitors, and just took a good look at them. He finally said, "I'm just looking which one of you is going to come in second." The room was filled with silence, because they all knew what kind of a shooter Bird was. Of course, Larry would go on to win again, proving that he's the best shooter in the world. He won without taking off his tracksuit, famously raising his hand while the contest-clinching three was still in the air. Response to Craig Hodges. Craig Hodges was one of the best shooters in the 80s, and he competed in the three-point shooting contest with Larry.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Larry Bird isn't fair, bro. Like, I feel like Michael Jordan heavily got his trash talking just from Larry Bird. I'm gonna be completely honest. Because Michael Jordan be saying the same type of thing.
Each time Bird was participating. Larry won 3 times, and Craig finished second twice. When Hodges finally took home the title of the best three-point shooter at the All-Star Weekend in 1989, reporters asked him if the main reason for his victory was Bird's injury and non-participation. Craig said, "Larry knows where he can find me," and Bird replied, "I know where, at the end of the Chicago Bulls bench, the left-handed gang."
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, you came second to him twice, and bro said that to you. I would be tight, bro. You probably had to did something. You got your get back, right? You played very good in that NBA game you played against him, right? Let me know, chat. Let me know.
Larry Bird was in the prime of his basketball brilliance in the 85-86 season when he led the Celtics to the title. They lost only 1 game at home throughout the season and the playoffs, setting an NBA record with 50-1. The Portland Trail Blazers were the only team to defeat the Celtics at home in December, so they were a good bet to win in front of their crowd in February. Before the game, Bird surprised his teammates and journalists by saying that he would shoot all his shots with his left hand, except long jumpers. This was the last game of a long road trip, and Larry would always find
Don't tell me he went the whole game left-handed, bro. And he destroyed them. Don't tell me. That's not even fair, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's not even fair, bro. Let's go.
new motivations and challenges to get through the monotonous grind of the regular season. In the game against Portland, he'd go on to have one of the most memorable games of his career. He hit a shot to send the game to overtime, and then hit a game winner in the OT. Bird finished the game with 47 points, with 14 rebounds and 11 assists. He scored 22
Yo, who is he feeling like? God damn.
points with his left hand out of sheer boredom and fun, which tells you how insanely good and confident this guy was. White guys guarding him. Larry is not white. Larry is clear, said Bill Murray in Space Jam, while explaining Bird's ethnicity to Michael Jordan. Larry Bird had skills for days. He was thinking the game 3 moves in advance, and his jump shot was money. He was nimble at 6'9", but he wasn't by any means an athletic player. Bird suffered from WMCJ syndrome, which stands for White Men Can't Jump, and he was aware of it. On one occasion, He called basketball a black man's game due to the natural ability and athleticism of African American players. Because of that, he hated when the opposing teams would defend him with another white guy. Bird said that it was disrespectful to his greatness because he was dropping 30 and 40 on the most athletic players in the league. So if you put an unathletic white guy on him, that's barbecue chicken right there. In the trainer's lab. The highest scoring game in Larry Bird's career came in the 1986 season, in a game against Dominique Wilkins in the Atlanta Hawks. At the beginning of the first quarter, it was obvious that Larry is in the zone. He'd hit everything he threw to the basket, with the announcers repeatedly saying they were watching the greatest shooting exhibition in basketball history.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Every time I see a clip of Dominique Wilkins and Larry Bird, Dominique Wilkins just always getting BTA belt, bro. Like, Larry Bird's always whooping him.
Bird scored 60 on 61% shooting and 15 of 16 on free throws, hitting ridiculous shots over several players. During the game, he suddenly said, "in the trainer's lap," to Hawks players, which meant he would try to make a three from the corner near the opposing bench. He got the ball, made the shot, and one Hawks player who tried to guard him tripped over and fell exactly into the trainer's lap, just like Bird predicted. The Hawks bench was so amazed that they were—
He predicted that? What? There's nah, bro, nah.
laughing and high-fiving each other, totally perplexed by Bird's brilliance. After that, they were fined by their coach Mike Fratello for cheering on the opposing player, tormenting Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was one of the best defenders in NBA history, with quick feet, long arms.
Yeah, I know he was one of the best defenders, and he bullied him? He bullied Dennis Rodman? Bro, that guy was uncoachable. How do you even get into his head?
And a motor that never shut down. He was a pest, an annoying pest who never stopped guarding, provoking, and getting into everybody's face. And he used to be a nightmare for scorers around the NBA. However, when he was just starting out, he needed to get some schooling from Bird. After Larry scored 4 consecutive shots over Rodman, he opened his mean mouth and started destroying Rodman. Bird started yelling at Rodman's coach, Chuck Daly. "Who's guarding me, Chuck? Is anyone guarding me? You better get someone on me or I'm gonna go for 60. Even though Rodman was almost superglued to him in an effort to deny him the ball, Bird was at his sarcastic best. "I'm open.
What?
Hurry up before they notice nobody is guarding me."
What? That was actually savage as hell, bro. What? That was crazy savage, bro. I'm not even glazing. That was savage.
Merry effing Christmas. 1990. Larry Bird loved to play against the Indiana Pacers, where he was always greeted as a king. It was where the hick from French Lick grew up, made his first basketball steps, and took Indiana State University to the 1979 NCAA Finals. And the game Boston played against the Pacers played on December 26, 1990, will forever be etched in memory of the Pacers shooting guard, Chuck Rifleman Person. Before the game, Person said to the reporters,
Do you guys think that Larry Bird would have been on Indiana if he wasn't on Boston? I have a strong case of him being on Indiana, but players did not go to other teams back then. People if you was drafted on that team, you genuinely stayed on that team. That's what I like about the old NBA. People are not doing no Kevin Durant's and just going to other teams.
"Rifleman is in the building. I'm going bird hunting today." At the tip-off, Bird replied to Person that he has a Christmas present waiting for him. While Chuck sat on a bench during the game, Bird received the ball in the corner and shot a three-pointer. As the ball was flying towards the basket, Bird turned to Person and said, "Merry effing Christmas." The ball, of course, came in without touching the rim, torching the Suns' bench. The best teams in the NBA often coast through the regular season and can lose their edge and focus when playing against mediocre opponents. In one game against the Phoenix Suns, the Celtics lost a double-digit lead and were trailing by 2 in the final seconds. The Celtics had the possession, and they could tie the game and go to overtime, or win it with a 3. Larry knew his Celtics shouldn't be losing a game to the Suns, and he wanted to play no overtime. So he went to the Suns bench and told all the players and coaches what was about to happen. "Yeah,
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, there's no NBA player doing this now. I'll be completely honest. The closest thing we have is Anthony Edwards. And if Anthony Edwards opens his mouth or talks trash, he gets fined. Bro, he's doing this to the bench, bro. You can get fined for this now. But back then, bro, you can really just go to the bench and just be like, bro, y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do that. Bro, damn, I'm low-key jealous about old NBA. Old NBA was low-key fire, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm going to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this." Unsurprisingly, He lived up to his word. As the ball was still in the air, he turned towards the Phoenix bench and yelled, "Told you so," as the ball was going through the net, calling his shot against Xavier McDaniel. Xavier McDaniel was one of the most notorious NBA players in the 80s. And on the courts, he liked to get physical, like Olivia Newton-John. When he was playing for the Sonics and the Knicks, nobody was really messing with X-Man. However, Bird was not afraid of a scuffle, and there are multiple stories of Larry participating in bar fights during his NBA career. In a crowded Supersonics arena,
Yeah, you see, you ain't seeing no one fight now too. An NBA player fighting, you added the NBA, bro. Like, then you could do that. Now, nah.
Boston and Seattle played a close game tied just 10 seconds before the end. At that point, Celtics coach Casey Jones called a timeout, and Bird confidently told him to just give him the ball and that the others move the hell out of the way. On his way back to the floor, Larry said, "That's exactly where I'll get the ball, and I'll score the game winner in your face," while X-Man replied, "I know you will get it there. I'm waiting for you." Bird received the ball right where he said he would and made a tough fadeaway shot. After Bird realized there were still 2 seconds left, he told McDaniel, "Damn, I didn't want to leave 2 seconds on the clock," while X-Man
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I would have raged. I would have got mad if he told me that. Nah.
walked back to the Sonics bench in disbelief, tormenting a young Clyde
He just took it.
Drexler. Before Clyde Drexler came into the NBA, he was one of the best players in college basketball, forming the famous Phi Slamma Jamma with Hakeem Olajuwon at the University of Houston. Drexler was selected by the Blazers with the 14th pick in the 1983 NBA draft, and even as a rookie, he was already one of the most athletic guys at his position. However, Bird wasn't impressed. When Drexler subbed in the game against the Celtics, he started guarding Bird. Larry smiled at him and mockingly said, "You can't stop me. You're a rookie. You don't know anything." He would
Bro, Clyde Drexler, please tell me you at least attempted to get back, bro. Nah.
proceed to hit jump shot after jump shot over Drexler before the Blazers coach had mercy on him and subbed him out, while Bird was laughing at Clyde on the way to the bench.
Bro, Clyde Drexler got built like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Clyde Drexler been getting built, I think, bro. He only won once, right, with Hakeem Olajuwon. That's when Michael Jordan was out of the NBA, though. If you guys want me to do some research on Clyde Drexler and learn about him, because I didn't even know he was that good in college, let me know down below. But this is the end of the video, chat, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man, and, recommend me some more stuff to react to. But other than that, I'll catch ya. Yes, sir.